Boop. Welcome to Top Deck City. My name is Grim, and what I have for you today is I'm going to call it a deck tech, even though that's not really exactly what it is. It's really just a deck explanation. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to build a deck themed with only lions in it. So the the concept was I just wanted just lions, not just cats. They had to be lions in some aspects. So lions in the artwork, lions in the background, whatever. It was also an excuse for me to do one of the stupidest and most pointless flexes ever, which was to actually play with my Lion's Eye Diamond. This is the real one. I have a proxy on the way. This one is actually in my competitive EDH deck. So I'm not going to take it out of there. So I ended up ordering a proxy that had more focus on the lion being in the center, and I want to put that in this deck, even though it isn't going to help me in any way with how this deck works. So my and I should say this is a commander deck. I only play commander. I don't see the point in playing any other formats. But that being said, this is my second Marisi deck. Marisi is a really interesting commander. Not only do I love the artwork and what he does, and the fact that he's a cat. I love cats, by the way. This is also my third cat deck or fourth. Let's see. Now I have a Jank cat deck. I have an Arabo deck, which really turned into an Azan deck. Yeah, and that's it actually. So yeah, I have. So this is my third cat deck, but it's my second Marisi deck. My first Marisi deck is another stupid concept where all the cards art in the deck has to be orange, including the lands. So there's only orange colored artwork, and I chose Marisi as the commander because, as you can see, he is quite orange. At least in my eyes, he is. And if he wasn't sleeved, these sleeves like dull the color pretty well, unfortunately. These sleeves are also Ajani sleeves. Surprisingly, I didn't actually have this Ajani. I thought I did, and so I didn't order it, so it's not in the deck. And it probably should be because it's in another win condition. But I'll fix that later on. So anyway, the deck is all cats, and they also have to be lions. That's the stipulation, or have something to do with lions specifically, and which I'll explain when the cards come up. So yeah, so Marisi's the commander. So here's the two, not including the Lion's Eye Diamond, the only two ramp cards I have in the deck. So we have Knight of the White Orchid, who has this dude's riding a lion creature with hooves. And then the West Coast Explorer, initially I didn't have in the deck, and then I went back and looked at it, and the more and more you look at it, it's a female lioness. It has a tail like a female lioness, and it just doesn't have a mane. So I went, you know what? I'm gonna get some girl representation in this deck. Not all the lions have to have manes. So yeah, so my two ramp cards plus the Lion's Eye Diamond, which is a horrible ramp card for this deck. That's all I got for ramp. The next category I have here are just the lions that that are in the deck that don't really do anything other than be a lion. So we got Fleece Mane Lion, which can get monsters, and when it's monsters, it gains hexproof and indestructible, which is nice. So 2-drop for 3/3 is pretty good deal. Johnny's Pride Mate. There's a lion in the background. This guy's a tiger. I actually don't like the one that has the lion dead center. I like this one better, and because there still is a lion in the background, and it has a quote from Giselle Goldmane, who's also a lion man. I wanted this particular one. But yeah, there's this guy, early drop, gets big. There's a lot of life gain and a lot of +1/+1 counter synergy in the deck, so that kind of works. Just by accident, just because lion things like to gain life and have +1/+1 counters. I decided to go with this particular version of the Savannah Lion. I thought the M25 one is just awesome. It's just very, very simple lion. There's the male and the female in the background, and just a cool looking lion. So, Pride of Lions with the badass female lion right in the front. I'm assuming that it's a female lion because this one has a mane, so they're not mountain lions. so they're actually lions. Pretty good lion card. And then because Marisi is the commander, we had to go with the Marisi Twin Blades, and this was I want to say like a Friday Night Magic or Judge promo or something, but you can tell this is definitely a lion man. So those are just the generic lions in the deck that don't really do anything for the deck other than be a lion. Next category I have here is life gain lions. So we have Leon and Elder, who is whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life, and that includes your opponents. And he's a 1-drop lion man. And we have Ajani's Welcome, which is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So that's a 1-drop with Ajani in the background. And this one is a stretch, but I don't care. I'm playing with it anyway. So this is Behemoth Sledge. And first you would say, oh, there's no lions on this thing. But there is. It's just in text form. So this quote here, may this grant you all the strength of the behemoths and none of their serenity, quoted by Ajani, who is in fact a lion. So this is from the Ajani dual deck. I got this one specifically only because it had the Ajani quote. The regular Behemoth Sledge does not. So I'm going to play it. Next category I have here is my protection spells, or lions, protection lions. So these are cards I use to either protect Marisi or whatever, other stuff I have in play. Ephemerate obviously has a lion that's fading out of existence, and then it bounces, and hopefully I can get some triggered effects with it. Bronzehide Lion, 3/3 lion. When he dies, he can game himself indestructible, and then when he dies, he comes back as an indestructible enchantment on a creature, which is pretty cool. Hammer of Nazan. Nazan is a lion, and this is his hammer, so it fits, and also gives a creature indestructible. Pretty good deal. Test of Faith. It's got a little hovering lion. This is a pretty sneaky good card. Prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to target creature this turn, and put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. So you don't see a lot of combat tricks in Commander, so I think this card is actually going to work pretty well for me. And you'll see some of the other creatures who make mans have like triggers that if you target them, they make a dude. So I think this with those will synergize well. Next we have Dazzling Reflection, another neat card that no one ever plays with. Another combat trick. 2 mana. It's got a cool lion on there with lightning coming out of his face. I know those are antlers. I don't know. Whatever. And he says, you gain life equal to target creature's power. The next time that creature would deal damage this turn, prevent that damage. So you can use this as a political tool to either stop somebody else from getting knocked out of the game, but then you gain the life that the creature would have done. It's a cool card. We'll see how well it does. And then Roar of the Ka. Got a cool line with a battle standard. Choose 1 creatures you control, get +1/+1 till end of turn, or untap all creatures you control. I love that. And then you can entwine it for 2 more. So you can pay 4 and get a nice little combat trick there. And then last is Ajani's Presence. Got Ajani right in the front, leading his pride of lions into combat. So it's 1 mana. It says any number of target creatures you control each get +1/+1 and gain indestructible until end of turn. That's a pretty good deal for 1 mana. And then you can strive it for 2 and a white to target for every target beyond the first, and each one of those targets would gain +1/+1 and gain indestructible. So pretty good protection card. All liony. All good. Next I got here is Making Mans. So these are all lions that make dudes. First I have Feldar Retreat. Most people know what that does. You play a land, get a lion. White Sun Zenith. Pay X and get some lions. And the tokens for White Sun Zenith are, in fact, lions. And same for Feldar. That, you tell me that's a lion. It's got a mane. If it's got a mane, it's a lion. It says cat beast, but it's a lion. Leon and War Leader. Cool dude. Makes 2 cats. Pride Sovereign. Definitely a lion. Makes little cats, but he's still a lion. And he pumps. And he pumps too, which is nice. Which is another category I have. Brimaz, King of Oresco, is probably one of the coolest lions. Whenever he attacks, you make a lion soldier that's comes in the vigilance, not tapped in attacking, but vigilance in attacking. And whenever he blocks, you make a cat soldier token with vigilance that's blocking. And his tokens are also lions. Boom. Little cat soldier. And then this cool guy, Vanguard of Brimaz, he's a 2/2 for 2 with vigilance, cat soldier. Definitely a lion, and he's got some lion boys in the background. And whenever you cast a spell that targets Vanguard of Brimaz, put a 1/1 cat soldier token with vigilance onto the battlefield, which is the same one that Brimaz makes. So those are my lions that make mans. Now we have some lion removal. So starting with Soul's Fire, believe it or not, that's Johnny in the background there. From, I don't know what set that was, maybe a Lara or something. But yeah, this is deal damage to, it's a green, usually a green ability, but target creature you control deals damage to equal to its power to any target. This Lightning Helix is from the Ajani dual deck, and you could see that there's a Johnny casting a Lightning Helix, which I thought was pretty sweet. And it's got an Ajani quote. Path to Exile. We got a Johnny lookalike getting exiled. Leonin Relic Warder. He steals or exiles an artifact or enchantment until he leaves the battlefield. So I thought that was kind of cool. I can use Ephemerate to get that loop going. Same thing with this guy. Highcliff Felidar. Definitely a lion, even though it says Felidar. There's a hair in there. Vigilance 5/5. When he enters the battlefield, for each opponent, choose a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Destroy those creatures. How awesome is that? He's a little one-sided board wipe. Magetta the Lion. He's 100% a lion. It says it right there in his name, Magetta the Lion. So he's 5 mana for a 3/3. And he's pay 4, discard 2 cards from your hand. Destroy all creatures except for Magetta the Lion. Those creatures can't be regenerated. Kazali Pride Mage. Exalted Lion. Destroys an artifact or enchantment when you sack him. Felidar Cub. So even though this cub doesn't look as lion-y as the other Felidars, he is a cub. So his mane hasn't come in yet. So this is a baby lion. That's what I'm calling it until he's staying in the deck. And he's sacked to destroy target enchantment. And this card is a little bit of a stretch, but it's called Leonin Blade Trap. The Leonins made it, and so it's designed to kill people that have power or toughness 2 or less. And it's a little baby board wipe too. So it sacrifices it, deals 2 damage to each attacking creature without flying, and it's got flash. Thought it was a neat card, and it's got Leonin in its name, so it's staying in the deck. Next category I have here is card draw. Not a lot to look at here, but some more cool line stuff, including Soul's Majesty with Johnny right on the top there. Draw cards equal to the power of target creature you control. Ignite the Beacon. I consider this a card draw card because it fetches up to 2 Planeswalkers, so you do get a card advantage. And it's got a Johnny right on the front there. A Johnny's Influence. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, and then you look at the top 5 cards of your library and reveal a white card from among them and put it into your hand. Most of my deck is white, so this card is definitely a card fetch, card draw. Mizan, when he enters the battlefield, he fetches an artifact. Consider that card draw. Keeper of Fables, definitely a lion. He's a grass lion, but he's still a lion. And he gives you card draw when non-humans deal combat damage, but only up to 1. Ritual Restoration. This one, in the artwork here, you can see that there's 2 Mirrodin lion dudes in there. And it's return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. This is so I can get back my hammer in the Zan when somebody blows it up. Which, recursion I consider card draw. That's how when I deck build. And then we got this cool guy, Tethmos High Priest. He's 3 mana for a 2/3 with Heroic, and whenever you cast a spell that targets him, you can return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And if you saw, there were quite a lot of 2-drops. So he's pretty cool lion. Get me some lions back. This second or third to last category I have here is my pump, lion pump spells. So Leonin Scimitar, self-explanatory. It's a Leonin sword. Leonin Sun Standard. It's got some lions in there, and they can pump all your boys for 2. Felidar Umbra. It's a lion enchantment that gives lifelink and counts as totem armor. Oath of Ajani. I love the artwork on that card. When he enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and then Planeswalker spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Solidarity of Heroes, 2 mana. It's got the Strive mechanic, and then choose any number of creatures, double the number of +1/+1 counters on them. What a great pump spell for this deck. Stand firm. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You scry 2. I figured the scry would be good in white. This card might not make the cut later on, but we'll see how it does. But definitely got a cool white line on the cover on the front there. This new guy, Lean and Light Scribe from Strixhaven. Cat Cleric. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. And he's a 2-drop line, so like that. Kihira, the Orphan Guard. Definitely a lion with antlers, but still a lion. 3/2, and gives all of the creatures on the bottom, which include Cat, +1/+1 in Vigilance, which is nice. Arabo, Roar of the World. I like the little cub lion here. And Arabo is busted in Eminence ability, but I'm not going to be using it as my commander, so it won't be so bad. Enters the battlefield, and when it's on the battlefield before combat, you get +3/+3 to target cat you control, and then whenever another cat you control attacks, you can pay 3, and if you do, it gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is this power. Card's super good. Jazal Goldmane, a cool lion. 4 mana for a 4/4 first strike. I like that. And he pumps all your boys. So he's 5 mana, attacking creatures you control get +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. That includes himself. And then King of the Pride, he's just a lion who pumps other cats. Or other lions in this particular deck. Alright. Second to last category are Ajani's. So there's only 2 Ajani's that aren't in the deck. There's a 4-drop one, and then the one who is the sleeve, but I will be getting them eventually, and then they will all be in the deck. So there will be 11 Ajani's total in the deck when they arrive. So we got Ajani Wise Counselor. He gains life, and creatures you control get +2/+2 until end turn, and then he puts +1/+1 counters on a creature where X is your life total. Ajani Inspiring Leader. 6 mana, gain 2 life, put 2 +1/+1 counters on top of on one target creature. Exile target creature as controller gains 2 life. And creatures you control gain flying and double strike until end of turn. Pretty good. Johnny, Mentor of Heroes. 5 mana. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. +1. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an aura, creature, or planeswalker card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. And then we'll -8, gain 100 life. That's kind of silly. Johnny the Great-Hearted. Stained Glass version. 4 mana, creatures you control Vigilance, gain 3 life, and then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker you control. It's a good thing I have a lot of planeswalkers in here. Johnny Vengeant. He is 4 mana, and he is target permanent, doesn't untap during his controller's untap step. He deals 3 damage, -2, he deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life, or destroy all lands target player controls for some extra salt. Johnny Valiant Protector, 6 mana, +2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature. +1, reveal cards from top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest into your bottom of your library in a random order. And then -11, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature where X is your life total. That creature gains trample until end of turn. Johnny Caller of the Pride. He's 3 mana, +1, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. -3, target creature gains flying and double strike until end of turn. And -8, put X 2/2 white cat creature tokens onto the battlefield where X is your life total. Johnny Adversary of Tyrants. +1, he's 4 mana. +1, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. -2, return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. There's a lot of those. -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of your end step. Create 3/1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. And I have the emblem. Yeah. And then finally, the one who started it all, Johnny Goldmane. 4 mana, +1, you gain 2 life. -1, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain Vigilance until end of turn. That's a good deal. And -6, put a white avatar creature token into play with this creature's power and toughness are equal to your life total. I don't have that token. I don't think it exists, but I'm going to look for it. So those are the Johnnies. And then finally, we have the win conditions. And these are pretty simple. Titanic Ultimatum. Make all your lions +5/+5 first strike, lifelink, and trample. That should end the game if I have enough dudes on the board. I don't, assuming they're all tapped out too, because Marisi bopped somebody last turn, and so everyone got goaded. Second, The old Feldar Sovereign. It's a lion that has vigilance and lifelink, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. It's cheesy. I don't care. I'm playing a janky lion deck, so if I win with it, I win with it. And finally, Triumphant Reckoning. This is a Johnny right here. If you go on the Wikipedia of this card, it says that it's Chandra, Karn, and Johnny in the artwork. So, and this is 9 mana. Return all artifacts, enchantments, and planeswalker cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. If I got all 9 of my planeswalkers in the graveyard, I think people are going to be scooping. That's a pretty devastating ability there. Not much to say about the lands. Unclaimed territory, that pretty much makes sense. Path of Ancestry. Got this cool command tower from the what was it? The Commander Green box that I've been dying to use. I thought the card was so stupid that it came in the Commander box, but now it's like, oh, this is neat. It actually will fit in this deck pretty well. Jungle Shrine. I didn't go crazy with the lands because I had to get this one here, Desert of the True, because we got that Lion Sphinx in the background. And then I also got Ancient Den because it's a den, and that's where the lions live in Mirrodin. And I also got this particular Plains because, once again, it's got the Oketra lion monument in the background. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Lion Cat Tribal with Marisi, Breaker of the Coil, and 9 of Johnnies. Thanks for watching.